No way. Right. Hey, what's good? What are you telling me? Living proper, man. Have to still. Count the rolls. The rolls, proper still, proper still. How you doing?
All good, man.
What's good, man? Hope life is good for you, man.
Yeah, life's going good. Life's going well, man, bro. Damn.
Come on, guys. Hey, I'm out here. Adam, let's get it. It's Poku Banks, baby.
Yes,
and we out here still, literally. But what's the step for today? What's that going to be looking at?
So step for today. So literally just went to go reserve some clothing. Just to the Louis store and stuff. Just gonna go pick up a watch now. Okay. The watch has been reserved for a while. I literally just like put down loads of deposits for loads of different watches. Picking up one today. A few people are off because Queen's passed. RIP.
RIP, man.
So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today, man. Just something light for real.
That's smooth. And you're saying you're meeting a business partner later? Yeah,
meeting a business partner later. It's like a woman who we've been. So obviously I do like e-commerce, trading, etc., etc. So we're going to be building an e-commerce brand together. It's in the clothing sector, women's clothing predominantly, and then we're going to expand out. So we're just going to have a meeting later at Soho House, I think it is, the members only club, and we'll see what goes on.
Serious members only. That's the way, man. The networking there must be
insane.
Nuts.
Literally, never know who you're going to meet.
But what makes you want to couple watch right now? Like, what's the situation? Is it more to hold value so then you can put your money somewhere, or is it a celebration piece? Like, what's the situation?
I guess I'm not really like too much of a watch investor. I'd be lying if I said I would. It's more just definitely a consumer. It's more just like whenever you reach a certain goal or attain a certain level of value or whatever, then it's like cool, buy a watch, celebrate. And I guess because it's straight from the AD, it's like people assume that it's almost impossible to get watches from an AD these days.
What's AD?
So
for
the authorized dealers.
Okay.
So a lot of people, when they buy watches, they usually go to the grey market. So grey market would be A-jewelers, trotters, kettle kids, etc. Authorized dealers from Rolex, you actually need to go register interest for watches, and there's a wait list. But the wait lists aren't actually wait lists. The wait lists are just there so that if they sort of feel like you deserve a watch, etc., they'll put your name down. Usually like celebrities, famous types of people, those types of guys, or even like entrepreneurs, anyone in kind of business, because Rolex has a brand. They want to maintain some level of like some sort of stature, and so they will only offer it to certain types of people, and that's just how it goes, to be fair.
Nah, that's smooth, man. No, getting on like this, that's smooth. Not having to go and get a markup price from, these guys and making a profit of you. At least you got it from a decent price.
Exactly, and I guess they kind of know, because with certain watches it's like the markups are crazy. You could buy it as soon as you leave the store. It's ultimately worth like double the price. They're literally giving you cash in a sense. So they kind of want to sort of.
Is there any tips you can give to them on how to get on those type of lists, or to get from an authorized dealer?
So in all honesty, like you don't need to like. A lot of people I watched a few like YouTube videos of authorized dealers years ago when I first started registering. It was always like dress smart, but none of that's really necessary. In my opinion, just go and be yourself. But obviously you want to go with the intention that you're not going to resell the watch. They don't like that. So if you go there and you're like, cool, I want to watch that I can flip, don't go for it. Usually try and have sort of pieces in mind that you already want to buy. So for me, I've been looking for a dress watch. I've been looking for a Datejust two-tone black dial. So I literally just went there with the watch in mind. Whereas before, when I sort of wanted just sort of anything, I'd gone and I'd been like, do you guys have any sports models available? Do you have this model available? That model available? You're probably on the waiting list for some time. So you're going with a piece in mind. You don't want to resell, and sort of just be honest about what you do, because they do background checks too. So I know that with me sort of saying that I was a private equity investor, done like a few online checks and this and that, they're kind of like, you kind of have to sell yourself as to why you deserve to buy the watch, which is good and bad. It's a weird one, because it's like you're the consumer, you're the customer, you're the client, but then again it's like it's their rules. You can't really change that, to be fair. Yeah,
that's the thing. No, that makes sense, man. Some proper gems, man.
Literally.
Everyone trying to get a couple watch, that's making sense. But what, do you think you should step in, or?
Yeah, we'll definitely step inside, go pick up the piece. We're already like 10 minutes late, but it's all good. Traffic stuff's crazy, but yeah, we'll go get that done, man.
Just to start off, I wanted to ask, so what began it all for you? Where did the entrepreneurship mindset come from, and how did that begin? Like, what was your first hustle, or was it a book you read, or someone you saw online?
So I first started off dancing like years ago. So I was a dancer when I was 11. I was in the news for like traveling the world dancing and stuff. I'm doing competition shows, hundreds of trophies, was like just really into it. And then I dropped it all. I dropped it all when it started obviously going good, when I started traveling the world and stuff, and it kind of was just like, damn, let me actually sort of think about my future. I guess you just mature in those types of environments. You begin to mature. So I felt like I matured quite quickly in terms of, okay, cool, this is going well for me. This is going to be my future career. So going out of it, so obviously I left due to focus on like GCSEs, then go on to like A-levels and stuff. So it's kind of just like, let me just drop it all here, focus on my studies. But then I sort of came to a realization where I didn't want to go back. It just felt like a past life. Yeah, dancing felt like a past life. Gotten a lot of sort of motivation to actually do something myself. Didn't know what I wanted to do. And then from there, I guess I just searched an Eventbrite of different like entrepreneur events, and then looked on YouTube as well. Ended up going to loads of like IML meetings, MLMs. I just felt like it was a scam. I didn't really enjoy it. And I guess a lot of people do like the whole selling sweets, that kind of thing. Me and my friend, we sold burgers. There was a burger day on Friday at school, so we thought, okay, cool. If there's demand for burgers on Friday, why don't we just sell burgers throughout the entire week? And that was kind of how we went with it, to be fair. So it was crazy. Do you guys have watch cases that you could buy?
Watch cases? Well, I can give you a travel pouch and a box. I'll give you all of that, don't worry.
There's no extra cost?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, of course not.
Thank you very much.
And you've also got a free complimentary pair of sunnies as well.
No way, you guys are the best. That's amazing. Oh, no, I love it.
So you're looking proper still.
Oh, damn. They're real nice.
And actually very tasty.
Yeah, I like them a lot. Damn. Oh, well, thank you so much, man.
No worries, mate. 3? What do you think?
Ah, man.
Aye, trophy piece.
Yeah, trophy piece.
Obviously, we couldn't record further in the shop, but
couldn't record inside. We got what we done. Obviously, they weren't really like. I guess it was just more sort of paranoid, not really wanting to be on camera. You never really know what could happen. Personal life, You don't want to, you know, what I'm saying, put that in the way of anything. To be fair, even this itself, it could cause a problem, which is why obviously we've got the cars. We're cool. But yeah, man, that was that. Man, I'm excited, happy.
I wanted to ask, can you tell them what are your sources of income? Because some of you thinking like, how can you afford this? Like,
so sources of income, they vary. So they vary from going between like different finance roles. Obviously, when I first left sixth form, I didn't choose the uni route. I went into an apprenticeship in finance, but then left a few months after. And I left, and when I left, I was sort of just more focused on trading. I was more focused on sort of e-commerce, building different online brands. And then I guess from that, I don't really have like an agency per se. I've joined agencies in the past and had like some good experiences, some bad experiences, partnering with certain agencies. But I guess I have a few like on and off jobs here and there, sort of building different brands. Even just before this meeting, there was one guy who came up to me and said, oh, I've seen you doing the dropshipping stuff. And he wanted me to help his, I think, property business. So we'll see what happens with that, to be fair. We'll see if I can even help it, because I guess I more do like B2C, so business to consumer. So yeah, they're like my main source of income, more like Ecom, trading, and then trying to build out different businesses. I do the whole like affiliate marketing stuff as well. So anything revolving around like marketing, e-commerce, and then sort of trading to an extent I do. And then they're just my main source of income.
Yeah, when you say trading, is it stocks? Is it Forex? What?
Mainly Forex. I mainly trade Forex, and then I'll give you guys a strategy. With regards to sort of trading, I mainly trade Forex, and then with stocks, I do stock options. And I genuinely believe that I've got a stocks option strategy, which is completely risk-free. Oh, wow. And I don't mind sharing it with you guys, maybe. Yeah, so yeah,
You definitely check them out on socials if you want to learn them more. But there's a ghost.
Cool. Yeah, ride is here, so we're going to head out.
Yeah, word.
And yeah, get into the ride, and then just get this interview done.
It's smooth. Adam, let's go.
Watch done.
Box and papers,
straight from the AD. Standard.
All for it.
Yes,
yeah, what would you say is your favourite source of income? Would you say? Because I see you posting Shopify screenshots. Also, you trade, but the marketing is also all good. So, what would you say you like the most? And
so, in terms of what I like the most, it used to be trading, because with trading, I guess the results were instant, and there was definitely a dopamine hit with trading. And with me, I know a lot of people love like technical analysis, and I agree with that perfectly, but with technical, you're using price to determine price, you're using the movements of price to try and determine an asset's intrinsic value. And with me, I love fundamental analysis mainly because you're using value to determine a price's value, using real economic data. And so with that, it's actual data that you can sort of quantify to an extent to determine something's intrinsic value, rather than just using price, which I believe just using price to determine an asset's value isn't really accurate, in the sense that you're looking at price movements, and price movements don't determine what the outside economy is doing on the actual financial markets.
Okay.
As time has evolved, and I've grown trading accounts, you can also blow big trading accounts, and that, to me, it's like I only trade with sort of the 10 to 50k range, and I don't go out of that. My personal money, just because my psychology is more sort of in tune with sort of my feelings and stuff, I can kind of just block out emotions, take more accurate measures, and take more like sort of accurate bets on the market. I now more or less like Ecom a lot. With Ecom, I determine it more on sort of the actual results. So if I spend a certain amount on ads, if I've got a 5k a month ad spend or 5k a week ad spend, I can determine what my income should be or what my revenue should be based off of that.
Yeah.
And so it used to be that I'd prefer trading, and now it's more switched and I prefer Ecom. With trading, I'm not going to trade with more or less money. If I trade with less money, then I'm not utilizing my skill set. If I trade with more money, I'm risking too much to the point where I'm no longer comfortable, and that's going to affect my decisions. And so now I definitely prefer e-commerce. E-commerce 100%.
Would you say it's more predictable, more, not guaranteed, but more predictable, more consistent, or how would you see it?
It's predictable in the sense that you would have already tested your products in the open market, and you can obviously you can use like your competitors to actually determine whether your product should sell or shouldn't sell. And then if they've got a certain brand awareness that's making them more impactful in the markets, if you go into a sector whereby there's not that brand awareness and there's just a solid product and good marketing, all you need to do is have a better product, better price, and better marketing, and then you're going to sell.
Yeah.
And so with e-commerce, I think I've built a store very recently in the sort of niche whereby it's more like vegan healthcare and stuff. And just recently, I think we're getting in sales right now, and I don't mind pulling up the results and stuff just to actually show. But
oh yeah.
Literally,
Live
so I think today,
direct.
yeah, live and direct, we've got over 50 orders to fulfill, and we've made 1.6k today.
Yeah.
So 50 orders to fulfill, 1.6k. Yesterday, we actually did the same, 1.6, and then for the week we've done about 6k. And this is actually a new store that I built with one of my friends, Brian. Again, completely new industry, completely new store, and it's performing well already just off the bat. And I think we actually had some metrics come up from Shopify whereby we were in the top 1% of all conversions.
Oh, wow.
So we had one of the best conversion rates in our niche in the time period that we were in the first 30 days of launching. So it's kind of like to not have any kind of brand and to be able to have one of the best conversion rates. And I think as of current, I'm not too sure what our overall is. I think we've made, so just here you can see, look, we've made over 500,000 in just under a year. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can see that we've made just over 500,000 in just under a year. And this is only like one of many stores that we've built. And I guess this one has just sort of proven itself in the sense that there was no initial brand. Again, all of our sort of online presence is weak, so we're still building upon it, and the sales come in consistently as well. So
yeah.
I guess the numbers speak for itself, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. That's proper, man. And a lot of people want to know, like, how do you even get to that point? Like, does it just start from that one sale? And another second question to add to that is, what would you say your marketing methods are? Do you like Facebook ads, influencer marketing, TikTok, organic? Like, what's up?
So it definitely does start from the first sale. The first sale is proof of concept. Once you have proof of concept, then you know that your methods work. It's just a case of sort of how well do they work. When it comes to marketing, I mainly do Facebook ads. I know that there's a big hype around TikTok. TikTok works and I've done it, but with TikTok, it's hard to build consistency. TikTok works mainly for like low ticket items, cheap items. With high ticket or even low ticket, you can build consistency with Facebook and have your ad spend, have your audience of a few million, and then just track your conversion rates from there. When it comes to my actual marketing methods, I mainly I'm heavy on data. And I think this came from like my trading finance background, whereby when we were sort of looking to invest in different types of stocks, we had qualitative and quantitative sort of data metrics that we'd look at.
Numbers,
so,
man.
Yeah, qualitative is anything that you can't quantify. You can't quantify the net income. Well, you can quantify the net income of a stock, so that comes under quantitative methods. But qualitative, you can't quantify. So that's like looking at, I don't know, directors, looking at the overall economy, that kind of thing. And so I like to input that into my Facebook ads metrics as well. And so looking at different types of conversion rates, your return on ad spend, it can be a data metric, yeah. Not the best, But looking at loads of different types of conversions and being data driven, you're actually going to show, okay, cool, if I spend this much on marketing, I can predict that I'm going to make this much. And so constantly looking at, okay, cool, this is what I'm going to spend my ad income on. These are my results. Can I get better results? Are these results sort of satisfactory to my business? Can I actually turn over a profit with these sort of results that I've been given? And it's a subject that I could go into and talk about for hours, but I don't want to make it long and just talk about like different types of data metrics.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. People may be thinking, like, where can they learn from that? Let's say they want to learn from you, or is there anywhere they can go to like kind of like learn more, or do you do any courses? Like,
I had a course. Well, I've got a course. Not promoting it at all. Don't buy it. It needs to be updated. I don't know if I will update it. My friend Brian, one of my business partners, we've built stores in like the 6-7 figures over the past few years, and we did build a course. We've rolled out the course. We've got a few people enrolled into it. We'd stopped it. We more just want to focus, get proof of concept, and with our course, we want to test every single aspect of it. So if we have sort of, I don't know, a TikTok ad strategy, we want to have it fully tested with the results and show people live throughout the course. So even though I do have a course, it's not really my main focus. I more just want to focus on my actual business. I make a lot more money doing it. you probably won't see me post about our course at all, and it does need to be updated before we sort of roll it out, and we're going to have sort of our members all profitable before we then sort of let more people in. So yeah, no course at the moment, but do feel free to like sort of message me on social media. I'm happy to give free advice to anyone. Jump on calls, again, free of charge, and give any type of advice to anyone completely free of charge, because again, it's what I would have wanted sort of coming up. There's a lot of money that I could have saved just having sort of someone like me to be able to give that type of advice out there. So I'm more than happy to do that for other people, to be fair. No,
that's big. That's big. And can you talk more on the marketing side of things that you do? How that will begin, and where would you say you're at with that now?
So marketing began years back when I was actually at school. I went to school I did secondary school in Milton Keynes. Moved out of London, went to Milton Keynes, and in Milton Keynes I'd always wanted to come back to ANS. I'd always just been like, I need to go see my people at ANS, I need to go see my people. So what I would do is on Gumtree, I would look for loads of different listings, and this was like, I think like 6-7 years ago. I think I was like 14-15 at the time. And I would lowball a whole bunch of people on different types of like Samsung phones. We're going heavy. I would lowball a whole bunch of people on like 100 different products. As soon as I'd gotten like sort of people accepting, like, yeah, we'll accept, we'll take on what you're trying to buy from us, I would then advertise the products on eBay. Whatever sold on eBay, I would then go and pick up in London. So essentially I was drop shipping to an extent, because I'd had the product already sold, and then from there I would go and buy it. So it's just kind of crazy. It was almost like product was already sold. The person on the other end had said, yeah, we want to purchase this, and then from there I'd sort of meet the two in between. I'll send through a few like screenshots and stuff so you can see, just for like legitimacy purposes, because I'm definitely not lying. But yeah, I'll show all the evidence just to show. But yeah, it was crazy, and I think we wouldn't realize, but I'd step out with a few of my friends. In some cases we'd make like thousands a day and not realize in the slightest. It was literally just a case of, this is what we sold, this is what we bought, and let's step out to London, pick everything up, ship it off, and then just chill for the weekend. Wow, it was crazy.
That's really, really smooth. And then from that, would you say that was one of your early hustles?
Yeah, that was definitely one of my early business ventures, because from there I knew that eBay worked. So I would do like eBay dropshipping loads. It's risk-free, you spend no money on marketing, you have all the upside, and your customers pay you before you even buy the products. So it's one of the like risk-free strategies. So if you want to get into dropshipping, give me a message and I'll get you set up on eBay, and we can go from there, to be fair.
That's big. And then I wanted to ask, with your dropshipping store, it's not branded at the moment? Or is it like...
It's branded. I don't put my names to any of the brands.
Okay, and people may be thinking, cool, hey, Adam, can you at least bust me like a product idea? What do you think of that? Do you think people need to do their own research, or can you give them a product and they can make thousands from tomorrow? Like, how does it work in that sense?
I do feel like you can sell any product. Genuinely speaking, I feel like any product can be sold for a profit. And so, yeah, there are some products that are better than others, some products which work in better environments than others. But I genuinely believe, from my own experience, I've sold sandals from China. I've sold sandals from China that have made money. And so, yes, there is, you can put a little bit of effort into product research, and I believe that some time should be spent. And again, you should use data-driven metrics to determine what products you want to drop ship. But generally speaking, you can dropship anything and make money dropshipping anything at the same time. So, yeah, do some research. But if you've got a niche that you want to go into, go for it, to be fair.
And the business partner you're meeting, you want to start like a brand with that one. So
yeah.
What's the reason for making that step forward? Is it more long term or?
Yeah, so this one, my business partner, she definitely wants it to be like really, really long term. Again, I've signed NDAs. She's like really, really business heavy. So there's only little I could say about that business.
Yeah.
But it's one that we want to work on and build like sky high. And again, I think that's all I can say, to be fair. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it quiet.
You'll see on your ads. You see it while scroll on Instagram. So.
Yeah, I always post results and stuff, so you'll see what's going on. Literally,
for sure.
There's been sales coming in every minute, literally. But I would show, but it's got the store name, so I'll keep it confidential.
No, for sure. And so you was mentioning about your like keeping things confidential. You don't want to show people. Do you believe in evil eye by any chance? So like.
To an extent,
because obviously as a young successful black man in the ends, it can become a little bit techie. So what do you think of that?
So I do believe in evil eye to an extent. Obviously, I show a lot of my results online just because when I was first ever featured in the news, there was a lot of controversy. Like, oh, is this guy really doing what he says he's doing? Is he legit? So then I made my own YouTube channel to kind of be like, cool, this is what I do. These are the numbers. These are my offices. Pull up like anytime. Like I can show you everything. I can show you my whole business. But yeah, so I do believe in evil eye to an extent, but I believe in it to the extent of when you've successfully launched a business, not a lot of people can take that away from you. Yeah. Because I spend a lot of time on my businesses. Even just thinking of a name takes like a few weeks, and I don't start until I've got the name that I'm happy with. Oh, wow. And so with me, it's kind of just like, I believe that the longer it takes to sort of build something, it takes the same amount of time to sort of break it down. So if I spend years building up a business, which I believe all of my businesses are still in their infancy, it's going to equally take like sort of years to break it down. And yeah, evil eye to an extent, but I feel like I only sort of pop out when I'm satisfied with where my businesses are at.
That's really good, man. And talk to me about you being in the news as well. How did that even happen? And yeah.
So me being in the news came with the transparency. I would simply just post online about how much I'm making, what I've made, and I was actually messaged by a few journalists. So I've reached out to by like TV journalists in Germany. I've been hit up by journalists in the UK, that kind of thing. And so the first ever journalist that reached out was more me building stock portfolios. I had a stock portfolio of a few $100,000. Me getting into stocks was a sense of luck. What I'd done was at first, I'd simply just like made money investing into stocks. I'd invested, I think, August 2019, and there was a bit of a bull run. And so I was like, okay, cool, this stocks thing works. And when, obviously, I think we'd had the Corona crash early 2020. And when we'd had that, I'd also moved out to London, got my own apartment in London. I'd also started my finance apprenticeship, and I was trading heavy. Started a whole lot of these dropshipping businesses, so I had a lot of cash flow coming in, and it was like, where can I allocate this capital into causes and companies that I believe in? I'd read a book on capital allocation, and it was like stocks. You can buy into companies that you believe in for the long term, generate a return, that sort of thing. And so it was like, okay, cool, let me stick with this idea of capital allocation and run with it. And it just so happened that it was just my luck that it happened to be at this time we had the whole Corona bull run, and tech was really heavy. I'd had a big interest in tech, AI, space, because I'd wanted to be an astronaut when I was younger, funnily enough, that kind of thing. And so me investing in these companies, I'd taken off really quickly. I'd seen huge returns in shorter periods of time, and so I'd piled loads of money into stocks. I just kept piling money in non-stop. And so with that, saw even more returns, piled more money in, and I turned, I think, what was initially like a £200 portfolio turned into over 200,000, but that was after investing thousands. It wasn't 200 that had compound over time, no. I'd invested thousands immediately afterwards because I'd saw such good returns. In that, it made me want to obviously look at qualitative and quantitative methods in terms of like how to actually analyze data and build a conviction on a stock to then grow that into an actual portfolio. Yeah. And so that was sort of my initial way into sort of getting into the news and that kind of thing, just sort of showing online the money I'm making and being completely transparent with it. Even me and Brian, one of my business partners, we'd shown how we'd sort of grown this business from nothing to $250,000 in just under a year. Completely transparent with it. We'd had, I think, an interview from the Daily Express, shown them all the figures, and it was just like really, really nice, to be fair.
Yeah, it's big,
so yeah, sweet. And news, flip side of news. Certain people, when I was in the news, I think on Facebook, there were like a few Facebook comments like, oh, was this paid for, and no, it's not. So there's a difference between sort of press releases, paid for press releases, and actual like genuine media, whereby you're interviewed, you're questioned, and that sort of thing. And I'm gonna send through pictures and sort of evidence and stuff just so you guys can see. But when there are certain companies you can go to and things that you can pay for, and they pay like a couple $100, sometimes a couple $1,000, and you can actually pay for a press release. And I've done that for one of the marketing agencies that I joined. I paid for a press release to see the difference, and in that press release everything was legit, but we never had an interview, so nothing was legit checked. We could have literally faked everything. And so I'll show you what it looked like. But it was literally said that like we landed a $1 million client, which we did, and that we made I think $50,000, which we did. I've got all the evidence for that. But we could have lied. We could have literally lied and said we'd made, I don't know, 500,000, which we didn't. We'd only made about 50. And I could have literally said anything to these guys. It was in, I think, Yahoo Finance, but it was completely like fake. And so there's a difference. There is a difference, and it's who it's been written by. Sometimes it's been written by like these certain press release companies. Other times it's been written by an actual journalist, and you've had an actual interview.
For them, is it just like an extra side hustle for them to just get more money in, or is it like a full-on business from these press, like these companies?
Yeah, they're PR companies. So they're PR companies. You pay for a service. The service is that they'll get you in the media, and you pay them for it. It's just completely sketchy. It's as simple as that. But it's real sketchy, and that it's hard to differentiate like who's just trying to, like, I don't know, sell you on courses or different types of schemes and stuff, and who's actually legitimately trying to provide value, and who's actually like sort of credible and done what they said they've been doing.
Yeah, no, that's good, man. No, that's good. That's proper smooth, man.
Honestly.
But yeah, man, that was a good insight with Adam. He dropped a lot of gems, explained his story, how he got to where he is, and also just where he's looking to go forward as well. So yeah,
appreciate the interview, bro. Good questions. Again, if anyone's got any further questions, feel free to like drop a message, comments below, whatever. If we end up doing a follow-up, then we'll just scroll through the comments and go from there. But yeah, it was nice, man. So yeah, definitely link up again soon. And
also I want to ask, what's one tip you can give to some people watching as well, because they may be thinking like, right, I want to learn from this guy.
Yeah, so one tip I would say is, again, take your time learning different types of hustles, but at the same time focus on one and just completely destroy it. Like, focus on one and sort of hone in onto that, and then when you're satisfied with the result, then move on to the next. Like, for example, with myself and trading, a lot of people are like, oh damn, if you trade, why'd you do X, Y, Z, Z, Z? Like I've said, with trading, there is a level of risk, so I'm happy trading between 10 to 50k amounts of my own personal money, and I won't go above or below that. And so I've sort of mastered my sort of skill set in trading. I've honed in onto my comfort zone. I'm comfort, and I'm also consistent. And so from that, I'm then going to move on to the next hustle and the next one. But that is sort of one source of income, one intermediary that will then be able to fund sort of the next. And so it's most definitely focus on one hustle to the point of satisfaction, and then move on to the next. Yeah. And that's the main piece of advice I'd like to give people, to be fair.
Smooth. And finally, what's next for you, man? What's next for Adam? What's next in a journey?
God knows. I ask myself all the time sort of what's next. We've broken into the private equity sector, which was like a big one for me. It just happened real random, and loads of different other things. I think next is more sort of like legacy building. I mean, I made the YouTube channel mainly just to prove legitimacy, in all honesty. I didn't really sort of make it out of a passion, but I've helped quite a few people recently, and so I'll probably continue on doing that. And so in terms of what's next, it's most definitely like, I guess, building on this idea of legacy, and then I guess all the little like side missions, like started a family, that kind of thing. So I guess that's more so for me. In terms of business, we're most definitely comfortable now, and so it is going to be like building and scaling businesses. That's like a part of me now. I can't do anything else apart from that. That's like my happy place. And so apart from that, it's just all the little side missions, and we're good, man, for real.
Yeah, smooth, man. Yeah, man, hope you lot enjoyed that. Make sure you check out his socials, and then make sure you subscribe. Let's get it.
Yeah, man, subscribe.
Let's go, man. It's Poku Banks, baby.